Good Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. The next 10 minutes, we'll take a deep dive into your weather, or at least take a long look at your weather and see what's going on across southeast Texas. We'll go through the next 7 days. Looks like a pretty quiet period for southeast Texas. Won't see any overly cold weather, overly warm weather, and definitely not seeing much in the way of any precipitation. Now, tomorrow morning will be cold, but nothing as far as a hard freeze or anything like that. We're looking at just some cool to chilly temperatures down into the 30s. Outside right now, we're looking at temperatures working their way through the 50s. We're expecting highs this afternoon up there into the lower 60s, maybe 61, 62 in the triangle, and maybe about 58, 59 up into the lakes area. So right around 60 degrees for a high today with mostly sunny skies, maybe a few high clouds. We'll back off into the middle 50s by 6 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock we'll be in the middle 40s. We'll continue to drop from there and expecting lows just like this morning back into the middle 30s as we start off on Tuesday. So it's definitely jacket or coat weather tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon we'll see some upper 60s, so not quite as cool as today. Allergen report, still looking at high report on tree pollen. It's still up there. Weed is still at 0. Grass is medium. It just kind of bumped up there the last day or two, and then mold is on the low side because it's been so dry. You don't see a lot of that mold in the atmosphere. All right, let's take a look outside at some of our sky cams and just look at the blue skies we have across southeast Texas. Start off in Jasper, looking at the Jasper County Courthouse. We look at that one. That camera was brought to you by Provalis, and then we'll head down towards Port Arthur, which looks like a beautiful day down there, even though if you're just looking out the camera there, it looks like a really wonderful day, but when you step out, it's a little bit cool. Definitely a lightweight jacket would be a good thing for today. This camera brought to you by Market Basket, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, and looking pretty good. You can see all the way over to the bridge off there in the distance for today when you see those clear skies, as opposed to some of those days where you get the low-level clouds and the fog and everything like that. Nothing like that for today, and we're not looking for anything like that this week. It looks like a pretty good forecast. Blue skies over in Orange at the Horseman's Western Store right there next to I-10. The building's right there on the feeder road next to I-10. And the construction is done right there through that section of Orange. So looks like it's going smooth there. No problems with 3 lanes open on both sides. It's really nice if you're heading over to Louisiana, going back and forth. I've been over there a few times, and it's nice just to drive through there and not have to worry about it being closed down to 1 or 2 lanes or anything like that. Our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network over in Orange, currently showing 55 degrees. Look at that humidity, 26%. That is some dry air out there. We don't see that a whole lot here in southeast Texas with that humidity that low. And then speaking of Lake Charles, we'll go over towards Lake Charles, and you can see just maybe a few high-level clouds as we look at the port of Lake Charles on this Monday morning. And then on the back side of that, on the other side, you can see the lake, and you can see downtown Lake Charles there in the background. So looking pretty good towards Lake Charles. The whole region, really, from New Mexico all the way over to Georgia, seeing the same type of weather. A little bit cool, but at the same time, looking at a lot of sunshine, really not much cloud cover, and not looking at any rain. And while we're nice and dry here, gosh, up in the northeast, they're getting pounded with a huge snowstorm. We'll take a look at that here in a minute or two. And then as we look from our 12 News studio, looks like some smoke off in the distance there. You can see possibly something's on fire. It looks like you see that smoke on our sky cam there. Like I said, this is on our tower outside. This camera brought to you by Big County Plumbing. So I don't know what's burning up there. That might be that prescribed burn that they're having up north. I think up towards Hardin County. I think there is prescribed burn today, and that might be what that is. Anyway, let's take a look at temperatures right now, and we're trying to get up into the 50s. 55 in Silsbee, 55 in Beaumont, Orange at 53, and we're looking at 53 in Port Arthur. Jasper currently about 54. All day long we have not been getting reports from Kirbyville or Woodville. Hopefully they'll get that fixed, and that'll populate back on the map as we go towards tomorrow. But today, just haven't seen those numbers popping up. Sometimes, for some reason, the data we get from the company that sends us this stuff is missing some data there. So hopefully that won't be a period where we'll be missing those for a few days. Hopefully it's just today. All right, as we look at across the state, like I said, the whole region is quiet. There's really not much going on. I do have some high-level clouds here and there, but looks like a pretty nice day across the Lone Star State with sunshine and a little bit cooler temperatures for the entire state. And we'll warm up as we head towards Wednesday. We'll see highs go from 60s tomorrow to 70s by Wednesday, and we'll keep those 70s around all the way through the weekend. Here's our futurecast, and our futurecast showing numbers from the 50s working their way up into the lower 60s for this afternoon, and then back down into the 50s as we head towards this evening, 40s by 10 o'clock, and then as we head towards the overnight hours, we'll see those lows dropping off into the 30s, and then we'll go back up into the lower 60s as we head towards lunchtime tomorrow, and we're expecting upper 60s tomorrow afternoon. So it'll be a little bit warmer tomorrow, and then by 5 o'clock we'll see temperatures back down into the 60s. Coastal marine forecast for Monday, no advisories, just a northeastern wind at 15 to 20 knots, seas from 2 to 4 feet. So we'll be a little bit choppy on the inland lakes and bays. High tide at 4:50 for this afternoon. Our sunrise at 6:47 today. Our sunset tonight at 6:11. You can see the winds right now at Texas Point, anywhere out of the north of 12 to 14 miles per hour. And I skipped over it somehow. I don't know how I did that, but let's go back and take a real quick look what's going on around the rest of the country. And if you take a look over towards New England, there's that big swirl off the coast of New England, and they are getting pounded by snow. 2 feet of snow through parts of New England, including places like New York, all the way down into Pennsylvania. You can see all the winter weather advisories for parts of New England there. Just some heavy snow there. Central part of the country is quiet, and then as you look out towards the west coast, there's some activity up towards the Pacific Northwest where they're getting some rain and snows in the higher elevations. But the big problem for definitely today is up to the New England area. We're talking New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, up into Maine. They're all getting pounded with some snow, and not a good time to travel there. Now, later on this week, it might be a great time to go and do a little skiing up towards that section of the country. But for today and tomorrow, they advise nobody try to travel around that area as the snow is just piling up. Like, we're talking feet of snow, not inches, but feet of snow there. We're not going to see anything like that. We've got lots of sunshine outside. Like I said, temperatures going to be there into the upper 50s and lower 60s for today. North winds at about 5 to 10. And then for tonight, it gets cold again. We're expecting lows generally from about 34 to about 37 across the area. The coldest temperatures, of course, are going to be up towards the lakes. We'll see light variable winds. Once again, make sure those pets have a nice warm place to be for tonight into tomorrow morning. If you have some tender vegetation up towards the lakes, you might want to cover that. We're getting close to freezing. Here in the triangle, we should stay above that mark, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And of course, you don't have to worry about any pipes or anything like that. Our 7-day forecast shows 60s tomorrow. After we get that cold start out of the way, we'll get about 67, and then we jump into the 70s. Wednesday all the way through Sunday, we'll see temperatures right there into the middle to upper 70s. So looking pretty good. 58 for a low on Wednesday. Then we jump to 65. We're waiting for that front to come through so things warm up ahead of it. That's why we'll be a little bit warmer on Thursday. Have some cloud cover on Thursday, but we won't expect to see much in the way of any rainfall. Maybe a couple of sprinkles, an isolated shower. That's about it. And then on the back side of that front, we do cool down slightly. We'll see those lows go back into the 50s, the afternoon highs into the middle 70s. But it's not a big cool down. This is more a Pacific front, not a cold Canadian blast of air. This is just more a little bit drier, cooler air that's going to be coming in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So not looking bad in our 7-day forecast. Show you a number here at the bottom of our screen. We have a cell phone that we have here in the weather office at 409-749-9302. And that is your direct line to either me, Patrick Vaughn, Kerry Cooper, and you can send us a question on this phone and we'll get back to you. We'll text you back any of your answers to any of your weather questions. You have an event happening or you just want to know about weather history,